Hey, welcome back to the studio tonight. So tonight we are going to paint some Christmas cards. It's that time of the season. If you haven't done it already, you got to get to work, make your Christmas cards so you can get them out to your friends, your family, your relatives, anybody you know, to get them to them in time. All right, so here we go. This is what I'm going to do. I, this year, am painting with my, here it is, 140-pound Strathmore pre-cut with a crease in it for a fold watercolor cards. Okay, we just fold it over like this with paint on one side. It comes with an envelope. I think you can get a pack of them, of 10 or 15 of them for about $8 to $10, something like that. Pretty economical and fun to paint on, just like your normal paper. It's great. This year we are doing Snowman. I have done a few as just a test. Here's a whole page of them. Trying to do a little different background on them. Trying to figure out exactly what color blue I want to use. I think I've got it down pat. Why don't you join me at the table back here and we'll get going. Okay, here we go. So what I've got a couple of pieces. I think I'm only going to use one for the demonstration. One piece of my Strathmore watercolor card, unpainted, undone anything with. I've got my studio paints with me. These are M-gram professional grade, and I'm using these because I've got so many different blues, and the Snowmen that I've picked out really have a couple of colors of blue in them. Right, and I've done a few trials with them to see with a different background, different darknesses, different lightnesses, different color combinations of blue on here, and I think this is the one I like. And I'll tell you what we're going to use. Cobalt Teal, Pthalo, Pthalo Blue red shade, and a little bit of Cerulean and Ultramarine Blue. That's what we're going to use. I might throw in a little bit of turquoise there right at the end. I did my background with that. I think it turned out okay. But basically, since I've got a lot of blue colors here, we're going to do it. If you don't have this many blue colors, you can still do it with, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 colors. You just won't quite get the variance in there, but you'll be able to do it no problem. Okay, I've got a Staedtler pen. I'm using this just because it happens to be waterproof. You could use any pen. I've got a couple of different fountain pens off to the side, but the ink in these takes a minute or 2 to dry, so I'm not using those. And with that, I think we're just going to get started. Let me find the outside of this card. Here we go. I'm just going to draw a basic snowman shape. I think we all know what the basic snowman shape looks like. It's just 3 circles, basically, smaller ones on top. And let's see, I'm going to start right about here. The circle doesn't have to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. All right, there we go. There's our first one. Our next one, a little bit smaller on top of that, and our smallest one right on top. There we go. Let me move in so you can see it a little bit better. All right, it's a little leaning off to the side. That's not going to bother me at all. All right, while I've got my pen out, I'm going to draw on a couple of eyes just stuck here. And what I'm doing is I'm going to make those off-center. And the buttons down the center of him also, I'm going to make just a little bit off-center, just like that. I want it to look like there's a little curve to it and he's not facing directly at us. So I'm just going to change that a little bit. Now I'm going to draw a stick arm off to the side. I don't know, I think my stick goes something like that. Yours can go however you want. I'm going to make one off to the side. Now this one I draw right to the edge here. I want that to be kind of back a little bit. This one I'm going to attach right in front. And that stick goes up, I don't know, something like that, I think. It's a little thicker down here than it is up there. there we go. There's our snowman. Easy peasy. Nothing to it. Now you're going to notice one thing is missing from the snowman right away. His nose. I'm not going to draw it in with this because we're going to get a little loosey-goosey with our paint here, and I'm going to paint the orange right over top when we get done. All right, so let me move that just off to the side and open my paints up. Let's see if I can get this. It's been a while since I used this big palette. I'm hoping I can get everything on here. There we go. All right, I'm going to start with my Cobalt Teal. It's a very nice color, very nice soft blue color. And I'm going to paint around these balls of snow. I'm just going to tread really lightly over top of the ink. I'm going to move this over this way so you can see a little bit better. There we go. You can just see I didn't wait all that long, right about there. And the ink did start to run, even though it's a waterproof ink. We're just going to kind of tread lightly around that. It won't matter. We're going to put a couple of the other layers onto this snowman anyways. And if we get a little bit of run in there, we're not going to worry. We're probably going to cover it up. Now I do want this first layer to be fairly light, and I'm painting out to the edge. If I go over the edge just a little bit, that's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to come in and put our background in a little bit, and so we can cover some of that up. But what you see is I'm not painting the entire thing. What I hope you can see is that I'm not painting the entire thing. I'm leaving a little bit of white space up here, a little bit here, and a little bit here. That might be better. Here, here, and here, and that's going to give us the indication of some light maybe that comes down from up here, right down on top of our snowman. Okay, so we got our first layer on there. What we need to do then is give it a little bit of a dry with our dryer. Let me do that. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. I'm back, and you see we're all dried up. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to just darken up my teal a little bit, not a whole lot. That might be too dark, actually. Let me zoom in for you just a little bit. You've seen me mix the color. There we go. And I'm going to go almost on these circles, on these snowballs, almost as far as I did on the first ones, not quite as far all the way to the top of them. I'm going to leave a little bit of the blue from our first layer showing, and a little bit of the white, of course. And I'm just going to put this on real fast. I'm not trying to get a perfect coverage. If I miss a spot here and there in the end, that's going to come out kind of as a good thing. That's going to give us some texture on our snowman. There we go. I like that. I think that's pretty good. Let me clean my brush. And we're done with our second layer. We're halfway done to doing this Christmas card. These are so simple and easy. We're almost there. Just let me give this a little dry. Okay, here we are. I've got my Cobalt Teal on him. Now I need to really darken this dark side up a little bit. I don't want to darken it up a ton, but a little bit will be fine. So I'm going to dip into my Pthalo Blue, and be careful because it is a very strong color. And I'm going to water this down a little bit, and I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm just going to dabble a little bit of that color right there, leaving even more of the first color right on top. Right? I'm painting less and less each time I go. There we go. Something like that. Can get a little bit more and a little bit darker on this one because it's a bigger ball. There we go. I think I'm done with that layer. One more to go and we'll be just about done with our snowman. Let me give it a dry. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. There we go. I've given it a dry. Whoop, let me pull you back out a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing one more time. Last one. I'm going to strengthen my blue over here. This is my Pthalo Blue. And these are going to be the deepest, darkest shadows on our snowman here. Let me zoom you in. Oops, I'm going to twist it just a tiny bit. And right in there, the deepest, darkest part, the underneath, the underbelly of this snowman, that's what we're trying to paint right now. And as you see, like I said, I'm not trying to be perfect with the brush. I'm not trying to get it in a specific area and be perfect with my movements and whatnot. You can do that with your snowman. It makes it look really smooth, but it takes some of the texture out, some of the whimsy, I think, out of the snowman. Okay, there we go. He's done. I'm going to let him sit there for just a second while he's drying, while the blue's drying on there. Let me move this over. I'm going to mix my own orange, and I'm using Quinacridone Rose. You could use any of your reds if you want. And I am going to use some Hansa Yellow. I think that's going to make a nice orange color for me right there. And I need it fairly thick. I don't need it goopy or gloppy or anything, but I do need it just thick enough so I can paint over the top of the blue that I have there. I'm going to drop it on just like that. That's all there is to it. If you can see a little bit of blue through it, that's fine. It's not a big deal. We're not going to worry about it. So basically, we are done with our snowman. All we have to do, we're going to put a little background around it, let him sit on a little hillock of snow here, and we're done. Let me show you how we're going to do that. All right, so back over on the palette. Where's my brush I was using? I should say this is, I don't know where I got this brush. This is an Utrecht brush. It's actually a very nice brush. It's a faux sable. Right, I'm going to get a little bit of Cerulean Blue here. And I'm going to mix in a little bit of Ultramarine. And that's going to be the color of the base that my snowman is sitting on. I want that to be just a bit different from my other color blues, and I'm just going to grab and pull out right on the side wherever I think he's set in the snow. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to, right after I do that, I'm going to get my brush wet and I'm going to pull that down thicker at the top. Get your brush a little bit wet and pull that color down. You don't need your brush sopping wet. You can tap it off a little bit. It'll still have enough water in it. And there you go, just like that. Now he's sitting on, you know what, he's not quite even. Not quite. No big deal. We'll just go back and fix it. There we go. That looks better to me. He's sitting on a nice little base now. And we're not trying to paint the perfect snowman. We're not going to worry about it. For what we're doing, that's it. We're just sparking the imagination of whoever we're giving this to, letting them see our snowman. Now we do need to put him in a little bit of a background. And I should say I did a few tests. Here I've got a couple. I've got one here that I did. I don't know, one here just on scraps of paper. And the background I like best is this color. And it's going to be nice because our teal, our cobalt teal, has just enough green in it to set it off from our other color. That other color that I want to use is turquoise, and right away you can see it's darker and just different than my other colors of blue. Okay, so let me move that aside. What I'm going to do is come in between our snowballs here and just put a little bead, a little track of that right around. There it goes. And that's going to be the darkest spots we have, right in there. I'm going to put one down here too. If it runs into your snow base, don't worry about it, let it go. Get your brush wet, tap off a little bit of that water, and let it pull some of that color out. There we go, just like that. And we're going to let that lighten as we come up to the head. We're not going to add any new paint. We don't need to. We've got plenty of paint there. We can just move that around a little bit. Just keep getting your brush damp that little bit and letting that color pull out. That might be a little bit too much. There we go. Just like that. Let it pull out. And if you left a little white line around one of your snowballs there, don't worry about it. It's going to help to set the whole thing off. Alright, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. Only on this side, since the light is coming in, we're going to try to be just a little bit lighter with our blue. Not too much. Just a little bit. There we go. Take that right up and around. Let it just lay in there really nicely. And there's our Snowman holiday card. As easy as that. Ta-da! We are done. I'm going to set everything aside. I'm going to pull my brush back out and I'm going to put my signature right here. Perfect. We've now got the Snowman Christmas card ready to mail out. You fold it in half, just like that. Personalize it on the inside, and somebody's going to get a beautiful snowman in the mail this Christmas. Well, that's it for me. Thanks for stopping by the studio. I had a great time with you here. I hope you enjoyed seeing me paint this, and I hope you try it on your own. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.